Hello, and welcome back to Party Plant Entertainment. Rachel! Okay, don't worry, I won't talk about that the whole video. Now, in case you don't know, yes, welcome back to Potty Plant Entertainment. My name is Chris, and I review movies, and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 increments of 5. Today, we're going to be talking about more of the Dark Knight trilogy with The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight was released in 2008, and it stars Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Aaron Eckhart, Michael Caine, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Gary Oldman, and Morgan Freeman. It was directed by Christopher Nolan and is produced by Kevin Delanoy, Benjamin Melniker, Thomas Tull, and Michael Uslan. And in this movie, the Joker is trying to bring down Gotham. He is trying to prove that even the best of people can be brought down to evil. And one of his targets is, I believe he's a DA of Gotham City, is Harvey Dent. Now, obviously, if you know anything about Batman, you know that Harvey Dent is Two-Face, and so he's trying to clean up crime in Gotham City, and Bruce Wayne endorses him, and he throws him a fundraiser because he really likes what he's doing, and the Joker's out to prove that even he can be brought down, and he's setting up all these challenges to challenge Batman's morals and Batman's rules. And one of the great things about this movie is that it not only challenges Batman's morals, but it challenges the audience's morals too, because you look at these and you look at these things that the Joker set up and you're like, what would I do in this situation? Like, for example, the boat scene. There's this scene where these two ferries, and one of them has a bunch of criminals on it, and the other one has a bunch of civilians, and he rigs them both with explosives, and he gives the detonator to the criminals ferry to the civilians, and he gives the detonator to the civilians ferry to the criminals, and he says they have this amount of time to choose who's going to get blown up, or he's going to blow them both up. And he's trying to prove that even the best of people can be brought down. And when you look at scenarios like that, you're like, well, what would I do in this situation? And the Joker is clearly the greatest comic book villain of all time, but Heath Ledger's interpretation of the Joker is one of the greatest movie villains of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is right up there with Darth Vader, Hans Gruber, and Thanos. He's right up there with them. He's one of the greatest movie villains of all time. And one of the things that not only is it one of the greatest on-screen performances ever given by an actor, but one of the things that makes him such a great villain is that you can sort of understand where he's coming from. Because there's this great scene where he's talking to Two-Face in a hospital, and he says to Two-Face, if I were to say that tomorrow I'm going to kill a couple of criminals or blow up a truck full of soldiers, well, then nobody cares because it's all a part of the game. But if I say that one little old mayor is gonna get killed, well, then everybody loses their minds. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, he's right. That's true. Like, he's right. I mean, so, and that's one of the things, that's what makes a great villain, is when you can sort of understand where they're coming from. Now, obviously, Hans Gruber and Darth Vader, you can't understand where they're coming from, but with Thanos, you could. But so you don't have to have that in order to be a great villain, but that's one of the qualities of a great villain. And Heath Ledger, rest in peace, man. His death was not in vain. He died because of this role, and it wasn't in vain. I see it that his death wasn't in vain, because this performance was just so incredible, and it is definitely one of the greatest performances in cinema history. So rest in peace, Heath Ledger, man. Seriously. The action in this movie is really great too. It's way better than the first, because I didn't like the action in the first one very much. There's too many cuts and too many angles. This one isn't like that, thank God. It's very well casted. Heath Ledger's performance was just one for the ages, but I think other people's performances in the movie get overshadowed by his. Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman, Michael Caine, and Christian Bale were all amazing. Even Aaron Eckhart and Maggie Gyllenhaal, they were amazing too. This is possibly the greatest superhero movie ever made. Seriously, it's a masterpiece. Like, this is actually, it's number 4 on IMDb's top movies. Number 1 is The Shawshank Redemption. Number 2 is The Godfather. And then The Godfather Part 3 and The Dark Knight both have the same rating, so they kind of tie for third. I could see why, honestly. It's very smart and clever film, and I love the interrogation scene in this movie. The scene where Batman is talking to the Joker in an interrogation room at a police station is one of the greatest confrontations in cinema history. It's a masterpiece of a scene. This movie not only does the Joker challenge Batman, but he challenges Bruce Wayne too. And just like the first one, you get to really know this man behind the mask. It's not all about Batman. It also makes the villains tangible. One of the pros that I gave for Batman Begins was that it makes Batman seem realistic, like he can actually exist in real life. And it does the same thing with the Joker and Two-Face in this movie. I love this scene where, this isn't really a spoiler, but I love the scene, because I'm pretty sure this was in the trailer if I'm not mistaken, but the Joker blows up a hospital. And he's walking away from the hospital as the explosions are going off, and then they stop. And he turns around and he looks and he starts hitting his detonator, and then all the other explosions start going off, and so he walks away. They could have just showed him walking away with the hospital blowing up, but they added in this little joke, and it's really, really good writing. It's a very suspenseful movie. And I love this quote from Commissioner Gordon at the end of the film. I'm going to read this quote to you. It says, he's talking about Batman to his son. He says, "He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not what we need right now. So we hunt him, because he can take it. Because he's not a hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight." Ooh, that is goosebump stuff, man. It's good stuff. Christopher Nolan, you are a master filmmaker, my friend. A master filmmaker. The Dark Knight, absolutely, without a doubt, gets a 100. Oh, man, what a movie. This movie is an experience. If you haven't seen this movie, holy crap, are you missing out. The opening scene in this movie is really good, too. It's just, everything about this movie, every moment of it, is just perfection. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Planner Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave movie suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Potty Planner Entertainment for channel updates. And swear to me that you'll subscribe. Swear to me. Swear to me.